Hello and welcome to the Coffee and Hustle podcast. In this episode, we're discussing managing your time with success. I am Carla with Designed by Carla, and joining me on this podcast discussion is the wonderful Tracy Jones, the president of Century Automotive Group. Welcome and thank you for coming on board.
Thank you, Carla, and thank you for wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I know you're a very busy person, so I really appreciate you coming out today and spending some time on our Coffee and Hustle podcast today. Can you kind of give us a background of your business and what you do here?
Well, my official title is president of Century Automotive, and we have all Highline brands. We have BMW, Volvo, Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, and a huge used or certified pre-owned selection. Used cars are kind of the thing these days since new car inventory has been hard to find since the pandemic. So we are very much in the used car business. But we have 167 employees, and my job is really just to make sure that all 167 have a great place to work and a great future, and the company has a future. And my husband is our general manager. He does more day-to-day operations. I do more looking out for the company, really, is the bottom line.
And you guys have been in business now for over 40 years.
Yes.
How incredible is that?
Yes.
And so, you've got something planned once you hit the big 50. That's an incredible an achievement for this business, especially this type of industry as well, right?
It really is, and our business is changing so fast. The internet and electric EV cars are coming, and the online situation has really changed our business, but I think for the better. And we are locally owned and operated. We're a family business. We are small enough and nimble enough, I believe, to adjust to the changes that are ahead of us.
And being that you're a family business, and now that's got to be some stress there, but that knowing the fact that you have to be on point all the time, with your business. Now you serve Huntsville and Florence and Coleman. Now, do you have some of the outskirts that come here? Do you have a long distance of family, people that continue to build and come and purchase cars here locally?
We do. I mean, we are the largest luxury automobile dealer in the state with this many under roof here in the Alabama. But we've just, with the internet, we're selling all over the country. We really are. We've delivered cars to California, New York. People, if they want a particular model, they don't mind coming to get it.
And you guys actually have won a lot of awards there. I mean, if you go on your website, you can see that you've earned this title of being in this area. One of the awards of 1999, you awarded the Small Business of the Year award by the Huntsville Chamber of Commerce. 2002, you were awarded the Alabama Realtor of the Year award by the Alabama Retail Commission. And you've got a slew of awards individually for each of your luxury cars.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think the award we're the most proud of is Time Magazine awarded us the Time Dealer of the Year, and that is out of the entire country. There are 20,000 automobile dealers in the country, and they selected me as their example of out of all of those dealers as their Time Dealer of the Year. And I think the reason that was such a really great validation of what we do, it had nothing to do with selling the most cars or making the most money or having the best buildings. They really looked at our business, and they looked at us giving back to the community, of us taking care of our customers, but taking care of our employees, and just having a really good business environment that's what they really want a well-run automobile dealership to look like and to represent in the communities. And the fact that they saw us in Huntsville, Alabama was just, I was so thrilled for all 167 of us, and we really did work hard at it. We work hard every day. Our mission statement is "We care." It's
That's
two words.
Simple. Yeah, that's a simple mission statement. And I also want to point out on that, too, that you were the first Alabamian and the first female to win that prestigious award. So that's impressive itself. to know that you've earned that, and I think that's something to be very, very proud of, especially how hard it is to be in this business and still be recognized for the amount of work that you put into that. So that's a great award. So I take it that the customer service is very important in this industry?
It really is. I mean, it's easy to sell a car one time, but when you have people coming back, as we do, and generations coming back and buying cars, it really, starts with, selling the car, but taking care of them in service, taking care of them when they need any kind of transportation needs. That's what we're here for. And that's when I know we've done something right. I mean, I have so many people that come back and go, this is my 18th car I've bought from you, and I would never go anywhere else. And those are, again, validations for what we get up and do every day. And we love our business. It's why I'm in this business. I do it because I love automobiles. I love people and love taking care of customers. And I think you ask any employee here, that's what they do.
Well, I have to say, every time I've come in here myself, personally, I've been greeted with a smile and a hello, or I feel very welcomed in this when I come to visit. So you've done a very good job on establishing that, and also that mission statement that you back that up 100%. Yeah. Now, my thing is this: what makes a great team? What does that? How does that work within here? Like, how does that feel for you when you have a great team?
It really, I have to give a lot of credit to my father, who founded our business, and he came to Huntsville and started our business, and his thing was always, even as I was a little girl growing up, was you just want to treat people the way you want to be treated. Oh. And he always said, I don't want to be your typical car dealer. I don't want to be, the image was not great 50 years ago. It wasn't. And that was, he said, I just want to bring another level of service to our business. And I think that always really interests me. I mean, I'm a CPA by trade, so accounting was my background. But I always wanted to be a car dealer because I saw, and Dad was like, why do you want to be a car dealer? And I guess it's just, I saw what he did with his employees every day and what he did for his community. And we're so philanthropic. And again, that was ingrained in the culture that George and I, again, George is our general manager, and he and I have worked together for 33 years now, interestingly enough.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it was a culture that we inherited and we nurtured, and we didn't take lightly the awesome responsibility that was given to us. And I think our employees feel that every day. I mean, when we walk around every day, we call it management by walking about and, talking to people.
You want to have that in family environment.
We do.
Yeah, and that's important. Culture is important within your company, because everybody can fill out a resume. They can say they have the skills, but you've got to have people that work together and they have that same vibe and feel the same things that you feel, because when you're emotionally attached to something and you give all you give, then you want them to feel that same way, and I think you do that here.
Well, I appreciate you noticing that and saying that, because I think you said the emotion of it, and it is. It's more than just selling cars.
This is a love. This is what you love to do, and it shows, and that's what you have to do. You have to love what you do.
Right.
And that right there is a huge statement in this business, because if you don't love what you do, you might as well get out of it, right?
Right, absolutely. So, and gosh, we love it enough, we're bringing our family in. I mean, our son, we have 4 children, and they're all successful, and our oldest, Parker, is here working at the dealership, making a huge difference, and the rest of the children want to come here. Growth and development is definitely in our future to make room for everybody, but it's exciting to me that they want to work here. And it's not because they can't find anything else to do. They're very successful, but I see that, and that's another, I guess, obligation to make sure that we hand this off in good
someone
shape
else.
To them.
Yeah, that it's going to be taken care of in good hands, so that you can walk away from your business knowing that it's still taken care of.
Absolutely.
And that's important, because all the hard work you put in it, right? You want it to translate into your family life and your children's life, and knowing the fact that you work hard, right? You work hard and put all the time in. You want them to recognize that as well.
Absolutely.
So it's important to know that, and you know that you're part of the community. You've been part of this community for a long time, right? You grew up here, right?
I grew up here.
So have you seen Huntsville and how it's grown, and how does that feel for you?
It is so exciting, and so a few challenges along the way. I mean, workforce development is, everyone's talking about that. There are plenty of jobs out there for people. So trying to attract the best talent and keep them here and at our dealer. You know, we call it pay value at Century. I always say, I don't want to say I pay the most. That's why everyone comes to work for us.
You want longevity.
I want them to have the best pay value.
Right.
That they know that they're well compensated, but they can take care of their families and go, and if they need to, or have a death in the family or something important for their children, they can do it. That's important, that work
so you
balance.
Invest back into the people that work here.
I believe we do.
That's that good balance to have, because you have people that work for you, they invest back into you, and you invest back into them. And there has to be that good balance to do that.
Do you always get it right? No, we're human too. But I know that's at the forefront of all the decisions we make, is when we say we care, it's that we care about our employees, we care about our community, we care about our customers, we care about our company.
Well, at the end of the day, we're still human, right?
Right.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes, right? But we learn from them.
Absolutely.
And that's important in this industry, no matter what you're in. And you either are a learning experience when you're a business entrepreneur, and that's a word we didn't use back then. It's like, did you own a business, right? And so now it's like it's become this big thing now. And it is our responsibility as we become more and more involved in our community that we pass that information on to someone else. So hopefully they'll pick it up and do something with it, right? So,
absolutely. And, there are times that we have a customer issue and I say, I hate that this happened. I mean, no one came to work this morning to mess up, but these things happen. But it's really when we do our best work, when we go, okay, we are family, we're local, we're here, we're going to figure out how to make this right.
So owning up to those mistakes or things that happen, I think is so important, because not a lot of people like to, throw things under a rug and forget about them.
Right.
But as long as that we all know that, okay, we've got to face something and we handle it in the most professional way that we possibly can, right? Because you have a lot of passion and drive in your business, right? So what drives that passion? Like what creates that passion for you? Is that just something that you developed over the years, or something that you've always had in you, that passion and drive?
It's really, it's just about, I think, just giving back. I guess everybody gives back in their own way. And I guess, and I've got a lot of energy and a lot of passion to really help. And I like helping our business do well, so it in turn does well to take care of our employees and our community.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
It is perfect sense.
And I'm so fortunate that I like what I do. And I love being here and seeing that, again, George and I can make a difference doing some things. I mean, through the pandemic, as scary as it was for everyone, I can remember sitting in our office and had our about 5 of our top level managers and sitting in here, and we were all kind of holding hands basically and going, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
We are nimble enough. We're going to, and forefront was, we need to figure out how to keep our people paid through all this. And that was, and I knew that we'd figure out a way to do it. I knew that we would. And so
I think that's something that if you recognize that piece, knowing the fact that you can sit down and come up with a really good plan that worked, right? Because it worked.
It did.
Because there was a tough time. Everybody was just at the moment where they were stopped what they were doing. Like, what do we do? And those people that have that passion and drive know, like you, I can fix this. We can work through this situation.
And I knew I couldn't do it by myself.
Right.
I mean, I had our team together that had all been together for a really long time, and they were looking at us. I mean, I had managers walking around sanitizing everything. I mean, there was nobody in the dealership, but we were around busy doing something because we didn't want people to sit around and be like, woe is me, what's going on? We were like, okay, it's time to weed eat the back lot. And we had we were just...
Yes,
keeping us going. And I think instead of the woe is me, it was the optimism. We can do it, and I guess that's really the drive. And George will tell you the drive is we have earned this wonderful business, but we don't want to mess it up.
Right.
And I think a lot of second and third generations don't have that feeling. And I'm fortunate that George and I both have that feeling. And I'm so fortunate that our children have that feeling. They know this is not something that we're going to go, oh, Junior, Tracy can't do anything else, so we're going to stick her in here and mess it up. We wouldn't do that to the rest of our employees. And
right.
I think that...
you want a transition that's smooth, and you want to know that it's taken in good hands. And that's something that's so important whenever we've cradled this baby and we've built this thing, right? And you want to be able to pass it on to someone. But you want to be able to walk away from it knowing that it's being taken care of, and that's important too.
But I don't think George and I are going anywhere anytime real soon.
Put that in your pocket.
Yeah, so some of these changes that are upon us with our world, with the automotive world, we've got to help figure it out. Sometimes the younger ones, they understand it, but sometimes some older wisdom, figuring out, because our business will change the next 5-10 years. So any article you read, it says it will.
So what makes Huntsville so special to you? Why is Huntsville so special to you?
Well, I think I tell people all the time, I said, Huntsville's a community that you can do something and people are appreciated, and appreciate it, and they see you can see the benefits working. I think if we're in a big market, Atlanta or Miami or New York or whatever, I don't know that they would care that the Joneses or the Shields helped do something at the Botanical Gardens or the Huntsville Hospital Foundation, or things that you can touch and see and feel, the United Way, the things that are important to us, the Museum of Art, the things that make Huntsville a better place.
Huntsville is just big enough.
That's the right word.
It's just big enough where you can still feel part of a family environment, but big enough to where you're bringing in these people that are going to change the world. I mean, we've got such great technology here. We're seeing a big change in Huntsville, but it's for the greater good, too. We're seeing a lot of research being happening here, things that people did not think that Huntsville was capable of doing. And now you're in the middle of that.
Absolutely.
That's so exciting, right?
It is.
So that is an incredible feeling to know that you're part of that.
It really is. Huntsville, I mean, I think we're successful because of a lot of things. I also think I want to give Huntsville a little bit of credit, and it is great being a part of it, and we're able to ride the tide with it. And again, we want to make sure we're doing our part.
I think that also we're seeing a great aspect of our younger generation who are now stepping up and starting to really understand that there's a lot of part of this community. And it's really up to me and you as business owners, right, and other business owners, to still trickle that down. Now, do you feel like there's a balance between being a mom, a wife, and a business owner? Is there kind of like a balance between that? Do you feel that sometimes?
I read a book early on in motherhood, and it was called The Woman with Two Heads, and I've quoted it many times. I can't remember, but it just said, if you're really good at your business and really good as a mama, when you're at work, you're going to feel like you should be with your family. When you're with your family, you're going to feel like you should be at work. And as soon as you realize that you're never going to achieve that balance, give yourself a break and go, you're never really going to achieve it. You're never going to lay your head on your pillow at night and go, I did it right today. I think that really gave me great peace.
I don't know about you, but I wake up until 3 o'clock in the morning going, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this project.
I know.
We have those moments where you're like, did I lock the door?
Yeah, I know. And I remember reading that book and I'm going, they get me. Oh, this is a great book. Yeah. And it is really, really true. If you love your business and you love your family, I mean, family's first. No ifs, ands, buts at all. Yeah. I mean, when the boys were little and Caroline was little, I mean, I'd have them down here at work at ungodly hours, and I remember nursing a baby in the back bathroom in the back. You did what you did. You did what you did. Yeah. And my role has not always been looking out for Century as a whole. I mean, I started out, as a controller in the accounting department and doing it. I had to be the first one here in the morning to open. I had to be here at midnight when we were trying to close the month, and nobody else could figure out how to do it, because if it was to be, it was up to me. And that was, and we had children at that time, and we did it had a great mother-in-law and a great mama that helped, and
Well, and to be honest with you, you have to understand every piece and parts of your business, and you have to play those roles, right? Whether you like them at times or not, right? And there's times where you had to find that balance, and I think that's a great way of knowing that. Do you have a role model that you can say, that was my role model growing up, or do you feel like you still have that role model?
My role model is my dad. I mean, always. And I know he doesn't have the motherhood piece, but but he's a great father. And I guess there are just so many lessons. Our company is a John Shields company, and when I say that to people, they get it, because he was a great influence in our community, in our lives, and our children's lives, and our employees' lives, and George and I's lives. He and my mom have been married we celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary, and I think they're both great role models for me. But I think from a business person, I grew up, always wanted to be like my dad, and that's the reason I got an accounting degree back in 1984. I'm dating myself. But he said the car business was no place for a woman. Wow. And you are not going to come here. And I was like, but I always wanted to.
But you were adamant.
I used to work in the parts department. I would answer the phone after school. I would do, my favorite day was... And it was always in September when the new car showings would come. They used to roll them out all in September every year. And I couldn't wait to come see the cars come off the truck. What girl does that?
Yeah.
But as a little girl, that's the way I always was. And so finally, after I had a career in public accounting, and he needed a controller, and we were starting to think about a family, George and I said, come on, I need a controller. Do you know where I could find one? I said, I thought you'd never ask. So then we came, and then he said, but you and George can't work together because I love you too much for y'all to be married and work together. Nobody can work together and be married.
Wow.
Well, that was 33 years ago, and
wow.
George and I have been successfully married and successfully here. And so I think the more people told us we couldn't do it, the more
you did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. And I remember
never tell a woman they can't do something.
Right.
I'm just going to say, when you say you can't do something,
right.
We're going to go, yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Watch me. Watch me. Yeah, I think that was great strength, and probably like
that's determination.
Yes.
Right? So that's tenacity and determination.
Yes.
Knowing the fact that you knew what you wanted to do, and you did it.
Right.
And that is such an accomplishment on that part, because we don't sit down and think about all the hard work we put behind it, right? We always think of what we got to do today and what we got to do tomorrow. But we don't sit back and reminisce of where did I start and where I'm at today. And you can say that with total success, right? That's managing success, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Now, how do you describe success on that? How do you describe your own success? Do you put words to that?
I have never had anybody really ask me that, but I think real success is happiness, if that makes sense. And
yes.
I think I told somebody that the other day. They said, what do you want? What do you want? And I said, I've got it, right? I mean, I said, I'm happy.
Content. You're
I'm
happy. Yeah.
I've got it. I'm very happy. I'm very blessed. I think success, when I see a customer, I see employees that'll come up and stick their head in, even just something like a birthday card. Got your birthday card. So nice, your words you said. Those are just the things.
That gives me chill bumps when you say that. Because, you want to know that you're doing the right thing and be recognized for all the time that you put in. Because investing time is value. And so if you've got value and people are returning that, you've done something right.
Right.
And so that's so important to know that after all these years, you still have that value.
Yeah.
And that's something that you need to, well, I'm not saying you need to, but I'm just saying
it's
something that you definitely can say you got.
I think sometimes we don't stop and smell the roses, if you will, or stop back and go. And I'll do that after we'll have a good month at the dealership or a good CSI score, and I tell people when I'm got a group together, I'm like, y'all stop and just breathe and feel this for a minute, because some people just keep running that rat race and don't ever stop and go, this is good, and then I'll be like, okay, now go on, let's do it again, get on it. And so I think you use the word content, and I'm thinking, I don't know, content. You're always, but it's a peace, it's a happiness, and then you kind of go, okay, I got it. Now let's let's go.
What's the next one?
Yeah, what's the next
one?
Yeah, what's the next thing?
Well, because I think sometimes people think success is money
Yeah.
and things and materials, but success is just accomplishing what you love to do. And sometimes we forget that, and it's good to know that there's people out there that feel that same way. To know that they're doing the best they have, or give out to the community, because you're involved in the community. You do a lot of stuff for nonprofits and stuff here.
We do. It is it's the right thing to do. It really is. Huntsville's been so good to us, and we feel the obligation to give back and be good to Huntsville. And so, in turn, we all rise.
Yeah,
and
that's good. That's good to know that you do those kinds of things, because it's important to know that you're not just here, that you're still a part, and you're still building, and you're still giving, and that's such a great circle of life that you're developing here, still in Huntsville now.
It is, and I think it's being a local business, and I think people sometimes the younger generation, if you will, maybe loses sight of the fact that local businesses are what do those kind of things.
That's a great drive, yeah.
And it is, and I think, people ask me, what do you think about Elon Musk and Tesla? And, they're competitors of ours. And I'm like, well, I don't think Elon Musk is supporting, the United Way of Huntsville, or or the museum, or some of these things that are Hudson Alpha, the things that are really important to Huntsville and our community, and Boys and Girls Club, and those kind of things. And it's not to say that they don't have great cars and great technology and all that, but sometimes, and I'm very cognizant of supporting local businesses. I mean, the Amazons of the world are going to be fine, and I know they're easy, and it's hard not to push the button. And I'm not saying I don't ever do it. I'm not holier than thou, but you just think, gosh, could I go down and support somebody that's got a store here or a store there, and you just think about that. But I don't know that everyone thinks of that. I know local businesses do, and I think it's a great message to younger people just to think about it, have a little more presence of mind.
I think that local businesses are such an important aspect of our community, and that we cannot turn our backs to that, because they're driving customer service, and what their success is a lot different than the Amazons of the world.
Right.
So I commend you on that, and I think that's important. So my last question I'm going to ask you is that, what have you failed at? What do you feel like you failed at in this? As an industry, do you feel like you've made some failures over the years? What does that look like for you?
Oh, I've learned so much by failure and trial and error, and never wanting to feel that way again. Right. I guess when and sometimes I guess there are times, I guess, with a customer or an employee, and you lay awake at night and think, you don't know how hard we worked to keep this from happening, or how much I thought of you before we had to make it. But sometimes
things happen.
They do, and those are the ones. And gosh, you lay awake at night and you think about it again, because I do care, and I know we all do, and then you kind of come back around and you think, well, 99.9% of the people thought we were great, or whatever, and you're gonna have those, and you learn from it.
And then once you resolve them, right, do you get that compliment right back at you of like exactly knowing the fact that you achieved whatever that you needed to do?
Yeah. I mean, really, statistically, our most loyal customers are the ones that have had an issue, and you've resolved it in their favor, and go forward. They're more loyal than if they just went along, everything was fine. So you do that. I don't know that. I don't know there's any one huge fail. There's plenty along the way, and you just learn from them, and you learn from your mistakes. And I can honestly sit across from somebody and go, I hate this happened to you, but I can assure you that we are going to learn from it, and we'll go forward in hopes that this does not happen to anyone else.
Yeah, and so what is so we'll end it on this. What is the best compliment you've ever received? Do you have one?
You'll make me cry, but it's what a good mom I am.
Yeah, that's sweet, because I think that's such a great thing, because knowing the fact that you've done all you've done and you still can give to your children and be this mom. Don't cry. Oh, you're crying on me.
No, I'm really proud of them, and I was a hard one. I was a tough mom along the way,
but you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's good for us to be tough moms and tough business owners, and because we have to wear that armor all the time. But I think that meeting you, Tracy, you're an incredible individual. You have a great, successful business here. You've planted your feet into this community. And I want to say thank you for today, for coming on our Coffee and Hustle podcast. And I hope we do another one.
I do too. I had a ball. I'm so glad you didn't touch on the time aspect, because that's probably not my strong point, time management. But there, I said it.
I think that.
But I get it all done.
Somehow, right?
Somehow, like you do too. You're a busy girl.
Yes.
I know. We both have a lot to talk about.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that we've made friends today.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Carla.
So thank you for coming on our Coffee and Hustle. This will be managing your time with success. And we did a really great job today getting to know Tracy. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.